To the next one. Well, I'm live. You're gonna be able to use a smartphone, right? And we're able to live stream on 5 different platforms on a single smartphone. Wait for it.
Numerical for maximum confusion.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Stay out of trouble. Notice it. For a treat tonight of the tablet. Good night. Sorry for too loud. It's like the next show. Warriors lost 96. No something.
This is CNN.
We're on TV. We're on some time, I guess.
Talk about the S&P 500. It's up 15% under Donald Trump's presidency. The S&P 500 has been collecting data essentially since 1957. It's been an index. I went back and I looked for drops of 15% with the president inheriting a whole market. There's only one dude on your screen. It's Donald John Trump. He is the only one that's been up to 15%. This is the presidency of the S&P 500. If you're inheriting a whole market, there's only one other president who has not seen it drop 15%. This will be the presidency of the first back in 2011. He was, in fact, inheriting the dot-com bubble bust. And so this is really, when you come over
Imagine
the whole
having
market
a million followers,
right before Donald Trump, the S&P 500 dropping 40.
2 million, 100 million, a billion followers. I can't even break 100 right now. On the ground though. I got over 1,000 on TikTok, but and, you know, I was on since the first post on TikTok. It took off, I blew up. But the Rams something else.
I think a 30% chance of beginning of the year, now 60%. No, stays in the stock market. What happens in the stock market, you may not stay.
So we're on Instagram Live 8, YouTube Live 9. So far so good.
You have UC Berkeley, Central Wall, it's really nice to see you again. Listen, also, they got ethical communities, they are businesses.
We got a giant ticket trying to get rid of.
So in settling with President Trump, are they making improving business decisions?
I don't think he's making a perfect decision at all. What you gotta remember is that everything he's done is blatantly illegal. All the laws are stuck together. They have. 3 judges have already said, and it's 3 out of 3, that what Trump was doing violated the law. And I think what's sad here is the law firm settling with President Trump just enables him to do it. We all live on the playground, and you give him a bully and make it
A lot of
worse.
people see this, jump on it.
Okay, I'm continuing to play devil's advocate with you because I've already tipped my hand. If a firm's lawyers are to be restricted to the courthouse, however unfair that might be, are they not representing the best interest of their clients by settling with Trump so as to remove that impediment?
Only if you assume that the executive orders are legal, only if you assume that the change that Trump can win in court. These executive orders allow this law firms out of business. Law firms can't operate if law firms can't operate to finance contract with the federal government. But as soon as Perkins Coie was subjected to the executive order, it went to court and won. As soon as Denver Block and Wilbur Health were subjected to the executive order, they went to court and they won. With every law firm has done this, because in Trump rejected the two law firms settled Chesapeake Bay and New Jersey with the other law firms.
Here's part of what President Trump himself has said on the back of all that tape.
You see what they're doing with the colleges, and they're all bending and saying, sir, thank you very much, we appreciate it. And they are, nobody can believe it, including law firms that have been so horrible. Law firms, nobody would believe in this. They're saying, where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Is he exaggerating when he says they're just rolling over and saying, we're outside, we're outside?
It's certainly true for law firms, and a number of law firms that moved forward with protected for this to settle with President Trump. But something you said is so important. One of the core principles of the legal profession is that lawyers never attorneys for the clients they represent are lawful and these laws are punished explicitly so in the executive order, just out of retribution.
Why do you think that you were unsuccessful largely in getting all the law schools on board to sign the letter? I gave the data already in terms of how many you solicited and how many actually agreed.
I think people are afraid to speak up right now. They think that if they speak up, they're going to be deported. They found all 197 law school students who signed a letter giving their protection just because it was all of us. Unfortunately, only 79 out of 197 signed.
Dean, back in the day, it's been a while. I spent 3 summers working at big law at a big law firm in the summer program. I know what that's like, and I'm putting myself today in the position of perhaps some of your Berkeley law students who already agreed to work at these firms or firms like them. How do they come out in all of this, and what kind of reaction are you hearing from them? Because there's pro bono work to be done. Arguably, they'll be doing a lot of it.
I'm hearing great concern from my students and also my recent graduates. I had so many calls from associates at these firms who graduated from Berkeley Law, looking at that's where they want to stay. We hear students who accepted offers, questioning that's where they want to go.
Is it a generational divide, or maybe
Don't
it's
fall
a
off.
financial divide?
Don't fall
Maybe the
off.
partners are saying, this is something
We'll be
we
on a
have to
speaker
do,
time, right?
but we have to do it.
I've been seeing it too many
Because
times
we're not
already.
skinning the game, otherwise our firms can be jeopardized. Their bottom line.
And they'll make like an OS, and then they just fall off.
I don't think it's a generational vote. Keep in mind that Perkins Coie, Jenner and Block, and William Health didn't capitulate. They went to court.
Crazy.
The question is, why didn't every law firm take that approach? There's of course a risk in fighting and not capitulating.
But like, it'll be too late. By the time you see the post, it's too late. You won't even know what it is.
One after
They
another.
fall off.
Final thought, you heard me say at the outset that Democrats' hands are tied. I'm not seeking to cast the firms in a partisan role, but the Democrats' hands are tied because they just don't have the votes in the House and the Senate. So the best they can do is put Cory Booker on his feet for 25 hours and 5 minutes. What do we lose as a society when the law firms are now set to the sidelines?
It's exactly as you said. Who's going to challenge the myriad of unconstitutional transactions that the law firms are intimidating? It's a large law firm that the resources to do so. But every law firm now knows that there's a challenge to an unconstitutional transaction. We exist to spend.
Dean, sit around for one moment. Put up on the screen some of the program. Silent, said this person. They are screaming stuff. Double playing. They had day one years ago. Will you respond to that? These firms have been presented. Their law firm is what arguably gave rise to being a law firm. They deserve your thought.
But that's not why these law firms are being targeted. Perkins Coie wants to Clinton. Well, rice, the bone with even if this isn't so, you can use these together with these against the power. These so it's just about the community.
Owen Chemerinsky is the Dean of UC Berkeley. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Always great to talk with you.
President comes to us. There's a lockdown. Although people would say it's saving lives, they also have costs. Public health policy. We're asking with 1 month on the economy and mental health and so much more. There's a new book called You Know It's Good, How Politics Failed Us, that again go that and
So I don't think I can do a spin off, you know?
See, I remember
So it says, why rich men don't care if you're a gold digger. They have money. If you have money, you're not going to care if you're a gold digger. How are you going to know? Is like, you know, very, very difficult for some, I'm sure, but it could be little signs like your trip to the store, right? All of a sudden, you want the non-food items, you know, that you can't pay with your EBT card, like that extra meeting. She's gonna want the alcohol that costs cash money. She's gonna want to go ahead and drink blood because you got it like that. You're so used to hear you say coffee. You know, it's gonna be all these little things that you don't expect. And he's not gonna care because to him, okay, he can buy anything he wants. He's a multi-millionaire, including his fetishes, his sexual desires, his sexual fantasies, his triggers. And his addictions, all in one somehow. So he seems to be talking to this one, but I don't know. I'm kind of all the way through, you know. And I tried to sit through her stuff where it was, you know, that in the core right now. Pretty cool. I know it might be a lot for you guys, but there's nothing that's happened song. There's nothing. The TV's on, phones are running, laptops on. This is nothing.
and those people said that they were still Francis, one of the things in a real crisis of faith in health institutions, medical institutions, when after the George Floyd protest, well, the moment you got to get the awareness of brutality and all the rest, and social inequities, but
And we got Papa and
all of a
Sean.
sudden, even though kids weren't allowed to go to school, playgrounds were locked up, people weren't allowed to.
And they call you your adjunct in public.
And just as a medical,
Yeah.
That was a time when many people began to question the general rates and to wonder why one could go to the liquor store or it,
I got
the
about
lack
15 minutes left on Instagram Live.
restriction. Again, question.
I got about
That's the
45
summer
minutes left
2020. That's when the pandemic began
on
to
YouTube Live.
materialize along partisan lines. It was not partisan
So far, so
initially.
good though.
Initially, it was broad adherence to the
Change my notes because it's Monday.
so sorry.
So what happened? What's up with
It's over
that?
the summer we began to see
I don't know if anybody
states
noticed,
go
but
different ways. The red states going one
like
way, the blue states
6 months
going another way.
ago,
And so then that partisanship begins to structure
Instagram had this really cool
responsibility
thing
out there and public opinion around the
where you could
so
put music on your
the kind of
profile,
questions
kind
that
of
were
like the
being raised
MySpace is, right?
the
And they
flood
just took it out.
protests, that's just one set
I
of
don't know
questions.
how you do it on your reels instead, but the note could have the note and the music for a little bit, and they just like it's for the mobile, like if you try to press it, but I don't know. I try to press it, and then I think just like put up an emoji and it's 5,018 posts, 87 followers, meta verified, 1,372 people follow. Following 1,300. See how I read it across 72. But that's not including all of them. So if I were to add all of them, let's do that. I've been wanting to do that. Let's see how much we accumulated with all four of them. Which I think should count. You know, if you think about it, right? Because that is work put in. A lot of people on the end to TikTok do it. But me, or yourself for your own profiles, So I think they did make it a lot harder online to get followers for some reason. But what it is, I already got here. So total followers on all four Instagrams is 950, almost 1,000. It's not bad. Back when ratios meant something, right? So I guess I was doing it where I'd share my TikTok videos on my Instagram and then have the TikTok on there. It's pretty cool. Back then.
He's still the most decorated military officer in Israeli history. Is Israel essentially reoccupying Gaza? I don't know. Nobody say the Jesus writing out the person come up into the reality is that I got
the great question what is the outcome achieved? We've for the last four times, I don't see exactly what we are going to do in the next one. If it doesn't, then we face it. But not extend you without having a clean, realistic, the question is empty. And it seems that political is not and we have to make it realistic now. It is not the one that so that's what I think. So basically, the only way to this system is to be and we have to open it to make sure that we know the government
That girl.
but the one thing to achieve is to replace by another entity, which is the international community, enabling the other countries, members of the peace agreement, the other
Gracie
and
Bone,
the Palestinians
10 million followers.
So the only realistic way is to use it as a soldiers and military.
It's a lot of followers.
But you notice that you
These days, Equinox attempting to sell more than 96.
also
Oh,
out of the Palestinian with the blessing of the Palestinian
I wish I
soldiers.
see it.
And the only rule that should be kept in order make sure that our compelling imperative is implementing is that not a single person who is part of the military branch
Think about words. I don't think you got all of
actually done the reoccupation of Gaza,
Wow, she got all of
massive population expulsion of Palestinians, which was
This
then
isn't a
attributed to
oh,
the plan of the
police hands
of
review
the
page.
Gaza.
I got an OS too, but
It sounded to be able to do that. But the stance on the table
wow.
Netanyahu already established
Wow.
kind of a new entity under the umbrella of the Ministry of Defense, the IDF is used to take strategy that would be organizing the master now it's very about to come to
It's I don't know what it is.
people might
It's like if they don't, they done something these days. You know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so and impose the mandate which is somewhat realistic idea. And I think that I believe that we so comprehended I understand that
They do like reviews for guys that don't want to spend their money. Yeah. Maybe one might call you cheap. You know, if you don't want to spend your money. You know, it's like maybe someone spent their money right, but they're on a budget. Like like we're not all that multi-millionaire that I guarantee you is probably got his own by now and on either side, you know, and even him like probably spent so much in a day, right? Where where like someone else got to a certain page that he totally forgot about getting to, but was meaning to, and you know what I mean? Like someone beat him to it, you know? We got a couple minutes left on Instagram Live. Hope y'all enjoyed this session of Instagram Live. Live 8. I'm just shocked. That one kind of got too much surprise. I don't know why. Well, people, you already got 10. That just goes to show, right? Like you already got 10 million followers on Instagram, and it's not enough for you. You know, you gotta go make OnlyFans. Like,
their generations long mission to receive full federal recognition and benefit, asking other leaders to step up to the I wonder if there is no system.
I guess I got one. I don't know the judge.
Throughout this nation to be proud of them. We're proud of the Native American. We've always had the pride of what we have, and I think that's not another thing.
I guarantee it gets picked on a few times. That's for sure.
Our history tells us who we are. Our history tells us where we've been. There's so many people that are fighting the good fight, but we need the Congress.
Some might say it's shameful, but look, that's for another episode. So till then, tune in. Thank you. Comment below. Check out all my links on Linktree. Subscribe. Do what you gotta do. Till next time.
And the more people that have platforms and spaces like this, the closer maybe we'll come to getting much better.
Still on the YouTube live. You're trying to figure something out real quick. Something really about it, you know?
It is wow.
Oh, yes, dear God, bro.
Nobody's no criminal mastermind, but he does have one particular challenge, self-confidence. So I want to go this way.
Well, about 26 minutes left.
This is more of what she did, or how much so many Americans did not know. Her daughter became infant after her years-long trip with completely many restaurants, even going to be playing, out of nearly $200,000. I guess you would think about somebody caught up in the stuff that they were 30 years, all while securing a six-figure deal with the relationship. And here is where Annabelle really made a mistake, because Wall Street, we rapidly seem to be becoming in some ways a society of con artists and scammers and rich. I asked her where she got the confidence, if she could go back in time, would she be Check out the United States is Canada Sunday night.
Or English and all that.
What is said here is that realistic for the U.S. only accounts for 13%, 1.3% of global trade. So on its own, actually,
Like Panamanian or something.
Continue to trade on the existing system, which is delivered them quite quickly, because of the opportunity since it came into existence. So let's not leave or down to mutually short construction, because we won't see what the global trade looks like, which we read about in the history books, and it's devastating for peoples and communities and devastating for economies. What we're trying to do here is ensure that economies are realistic this line. It's interesting in maintaining a revitalized natural trading system and working to do that, not focusing on the retaliation. Because that will lead us to recession, not just involved in the retaliation place, but also potentially from the economy as well.
Well, there you go home, right?
Well, you said it may lead to recession. The economists agree they are predicting a global recession because of these tariffs. So, looking at other market shocks, you mentioned this. I mean, is that where we're going, or could it get worse? How about this?
This could get very different.
You gotta notice the star though. Got the tablet back on.
It has the potential, particularly for urban economies, to really just someone get downgrades again. That's what they can do the process of that, because they don't know should they continue to buy, should they be actually which they start use.
First about the stock market futures launching as we're preparing tomorrow down 1.1. What are you anticipating?
You're surprised, given the self-inflicted wound of tariff policy, that's going to increase unemployment, they're going to hurt businesses, they're going to increase inflation, they're going to
I was a little hesitant about trying to let it go too. It is kind of like one of those things where
to what may be the most damaging economic policies in the United
if it's
States.
too good to be true, you know, it's too good to be true, right? So
There are precedents for this. In 1987, you had a much smaller version of this. That the president is doubling down on his errors. That policies that work, that everybody on the outside.
Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro told investors, sit tight, don't panic, trust in Trump. And then, as my colleague Betsy Klein was reporting, we've just heard a lot of mixed messaging. Are these tariffs for negotiation? Are they to bring back manufacturing? Are they staying? Are they going?
It's a good idea. Do this on the live.
Messaging coming out of the White House, and
I'm posting. I try to post a reel every day.
negotiation.
twice a day now.
Economic policies coming from
Night and morning.
Coming
For
out
45
of the
years.
White House, and
We're
the
gonna
virus
get-
to
as
everyday
much
Americans who just
incoherence
trust in Trump.
and irrationality as we saw on television today.
Economic policies coming from
Self-evidently, you
from
can't both use
administrations
tariffs as
for
a
45
crowbar,
years.
threatening
never
other
seen as
countries
much
and saying you'll
incoherence
remove them if
and
they cut their
irrationality
tariffs.
as we
And
saw
also
on
promise that there'll be a
television
revenue source and an
Self-evidently,
inducement to
you can't
businesses to
both use
locate
tariffs as
in
a
the
I'm
United
going here.
States. And the administration doesn't have a coherent message on why it's doing these tax increases for 10 and 50 years. Consistently delivered. According to the Yale budget, consumer, according to the Yale budget, and they can't even
Push it on the wall.
why they it's the one that Martha said.
And the story posted on the rail.
This administration, telling people that they should ignore the judgment. One of the things is going to be very reassuring to people. It would be reassuring to be a change. And that's administrations that have been said from politicians in both parties, from the Federal Reserve, from dozens of other countries, from almost every outside national, from the major banks, from the CEOs, from businesses, from representatives of labor, that this is a mistake. That the administration will be signaling that it refers the message from the CEOs this weekend is a message again. Eventually,
It'll take a little bit.
expect that the administration forces to change.
You know, it's on the post.
They do it less
There's a lot of background behind it. It started with the mic area with the highlight. So again, I'm on live making this, recording my voiceover and it does have a little bit of a story. I was just getting into how it started with the highlight and how you would post on your story, right? And then all of a sudden, I think the highlights came out after, I'm not too sure, but you'd be able to post your story, okay? That was separate from a post. Because then after your story, you could post it, I'm pretty sure. Or either way, but most of the time you post the story, you could post it as a post. So then all of a sudden they have the highlight, which is the same thing, but like in between the story and the post, where you could save the story to highlight, to post the highlight, which was the story. So I started doing that. I started posting to my story, and I never liked Snapchat. You know, this is Instagram. I'm at a verified bitch. So I like to kind of document and back up everything I post most of the time, just in case, because you never know these days, right? You never know who you're gonna meet, who you're gonna come across. You know, the police might take your phone and be like, "Where you at? What happened? What was it at this time?" And you have some evidence on you, or whatever. So I post on the story, and then I used to posting it in the highlight, and then post. The only thing it adds to the post is the caption and location. Yeah. I started posting. You can post. I don't think there's a limit to how many stories you can post a day. It might be 100. I don't know. But there is a limit to how many posts you can post a day. So I'm pretty sure there's a limit to how many highlights you can post a day now too. The long story short, I posted highlight every day for a while where I couldn't even see the highlights anymore that I was supposed to. That's why I started adding them to the highlights, like more pictures to the highlights, which I just think is highlight pictures, the highlight posts. So this is going to the highlight post. Would be another highlight. It could be another highlight post. The highlight post. But yeah, so that's not the highlight post. It's pretty cool. Let's see. We got about 15 minutes left on the YouTube live. I want to hear that. Can't really hear it. Yeah, verified, bitch. They make this stuff up. The poster.
Challenging warnings.
Texas Attorney General Jack Loyalist Ken Patz is sending loud signals he plans to enter the race. Also, we learned about new signs and Republican Congressman
President Trump regularly, and I know he's got other things on his plate. It's back to the package. Arellano Plus announced filming of season 2 of Taylor Sheridan's streaming series is now underway. Including all those reprising his role as the title character. Smith and Richie Thompson performing their new song, White Girl. This released off your album, White Girl, White Girl. One of the first artists Thompson performing the new song, White Girl. Netflix will debut a 6-episode, 7th anthology series, The Contents, in Hollywood. I break down the gem.
Right, I think it almost sounds that it comes out, but the truth is, if this is Wall Street, they want certainty. That's really the business. Because you know what is happening, you know how to plan ahead, you know how to do it well. And so White House is saying trust Trump. That's what they can say. We'll see Wall Street.
Wall Street is Trump's track record of trusting Trump with business, which is bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy. If anybody I'm going to trust is maybe Elon Musk for business, which has made me personally a ton of money. But I don't trust Trump. His track record speaks for itself. Drowning in debt and making more. If anybody trust his performance are telling us. Right now, I think some We're doing serving later. I like working with people. They're doing it. You know, enjoy it. And in order to do it, better. Yep. So get up there, organize what possible today. You know, you get it out. So let's get the number of civil chains on the really struggling, shattering locations to wait. I think they're on right now. Struggling. What you're seeing is customers what happens is customers are operating budget and trying to having a station. So most customers making a few customers were paid up, but those customers are not now anything paid up. And so more sort of changing as getting out towards online. And so I think those are and so when and then we're going to take out and get more, and it's cheaper than going out to eat and get large or ours you can try to aim at that door was the you were on the other end with squeeze something less comes from if you have the data it's either or responsible on the other hand so is that the internet is all
Yeah, here.